Recently, there's been a campaign online to try to convince Disney to make one of their Disney princesses into a lesbian. The idea is that, in the spirit of inclusiveness, there should be at least one Disney princess that represents that community. And they've had Disney princesses for various other nationalities and races. And so, this is yet another community that can be represented in their product. And all in all, it's a great idea that they should do. The problem is they want to use an existing character to do this. They want to use Elsa from Frozen, and they want her to be a lesbian in the sequel. There are several problems with this. The main one is that using an existing character, it cheapens the representation because it feels like that they don't feel like the character can hold their own. Like they need to ride on the coattails of somebody else's popularity. It's the same reason that these female versions of existing franchises isn't really the best idea and just doesn't come off very well. Because, yeah, the idea is diversity and all this, but you're basically saying that, oh, a female driven movie can't hold its own, that you can't make interesting characters if they were original, which is bull. If you look at Ghostbusters, this new one, the team that did it also did the movie Spy, and Spy was a great movie. And it worked on its own. And that's what the focus should be, and the same thing here. Make a new character and have it from the start represent that community. Don't make it feel like it's trying to shove it in your face. It should just be, you know. The other problem with using Elsa is that she's not really the best character to use this for. One of the issues is that they talk about the song Let It Go as an empowerment song and, representative of coming out or, being who you are. And in a way it is, but it's not really talking about that. You can read into it that way if you want. But that song and that whole section of the movie was also her getting into a little more antagonistic area, a little more villainous. And in the original story, that's the direction that she went. And you're kind of saying that this act of, being out or coming out is more of an antagonistic move, and it's not. It's supposed to be, a relief in finding yourself. But Elsa in the movie, she starts to drift almost into that villain area, but doesn't quite get all the way there. I mean, at one point she makes a giant monster that throws people off cliffs. Maybe that's not the best image you want in people's heads when they're thinking about gay empowerment. It should be a positive message, not something that could be taken as antagonistic or villainous. The other issue is that it makes it far too easy to read too much into certain actions that she does. And this is going to get more into spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen the movie, skip ahead or whatever. But it lets you read into certain actions that she does earlier in the movie to maybe put a little too much emphasis on it than it probably should. Like when she tries to convince Anna not to marry this guy, it's far too easy to look at it as her trying to push her preference onto Anna. That's not what's going on, of course, but it can be far too easy to read that into it. And the other thing, too, is the twist with Han already feels like it's been shoehorned in. So he comes out as a villain even though he's been this great guy through the entire movie. And it feels like at the last minute they were like, oh crap, we need to justify Elsa's feelings early on. We built him up to be this great guy, but we've given no justification for her to feel the way she did earlier in the movie. So it already feels shoehorned in. And this also makes it feel like some of the behind the scenes stuff regarding that change has that undertone of them wanting to do it to try and make her better, or to try and justify that point of view. And it doesn't really work. And the main problem with it has to do with the fact that the movie completely subverts this idea of trying to find your true love. That was the whole point. The whole point of the movie is let the people at the ski lodge know where you are so you don't get trapped on the ski lift. I mean, the whole point of the movie and what makes it a great movie is that it goes against the trope of, oh, I must find this guy to save the day, or that finding my significant other will make everything all better. Like, no, true love can be family, can be your love for your sister or whatever, and not love in that way. So now you're going to put this message out there, oh, don't, finding your true love isn't the most important thing, and then turn around and completely undo that by having her find her true love in the next movie. It completely works against the message of the first film. One of the reasons they want to use Elsa is because she didn't show any romantic interest in anybody. But that was the point. She didn't have to. In the end, she's not really best character for this. And it can also put people off by having it feel like they're trying to shoehorn in some sort of political message when there wasn't one before, really. So the best thing that they can do, they should still make somebody to represent this community. But they should start from the beginning. Make a new character and just have her be that way from the start. That's just who she is. They can add the romantic element to it. They don't have to. Whether they're gay, straight, black, white, male, female, whatever, it should always be about making the best movie and telling the best stories. Disney does that. It doesn't need a political message. It just needs to be good. And if they start from the beginning, start from scratch, then they don't have to change anything. They don't have to alter the lore, alter the tone. They can start from the beginning and make the best character that they can. That also happens to represent that community. And I think that's the way they should go with it.